Okay, next we have the State of the Utility Report. Mr. Burr.
Very
President
good.
Burr.
Well, since we ended the presentation on generation, I'll kind of start with generation a little bit. Our Nebraska City plant was in service for all but 12 hours in the past month at about an 88% capacity factor. So our folks are doing a great job of keeping the plants up and operating during the summer period. Nebraska City 2 remained in service for the entire month of August. So obviously the maintenance and the work that we've done has been pretty important for that plant, and it's been in continuous service for 172 days. Now, this is where I knock on the table, because this is now the second longest operational run for the unit in its history since it came online in 2009. So our teams are doing a great job in that regard. Coal inventory remained constant through the month of through the past month, and I'll talk a little bit differently about that for North Omaha facility. But at North Omaha, we were at about an 84% capacity factor. We did have a couple outages over the course of the last month, but our teams did a great job of preparing the plant to come down safely, repairing the leak that had occurred, and then bringing the plant back up in a very safe position. And essentially, we didn't bring it up right away because we worked with SPP, and some of those days where the weather wasn't as warm, we didn't need to have that plant back up. So we worked very closely with SPP and our marketing team on that as well. Coal inventory continued to slowly decline during the month of August, primarily due to early supply disruptions with UP. But UP is placing a third train into service to the station, and that will help build some of that inventory over the course of the winter months over the next several weeks. The last inspection of the wells at Sarpy County, I know the board's been briefed on that over the years, and our Sarpy County Station remediation project was conducted, and a letter was sent to the Nebraska Department of Environmental Quality requesting closure of that project. So our teams are doing a great job on that, and I know Russ and Jeff Karloff are in the audience, and their teams, as well as others across the district, worked very hard on that project. On the energy marketing and trading side, our renewable energy contributed to 12.2% of OPPD's retail energy sales over the course of the last month. Year to date, that's 15.6%. Our capacity factor for wind over the last month was 36.9%, and for the year, it has been at 44%. As was detailed in our board committee meeting on Tuesday, Fort Calhoun is in mode 1, 100% power, and remains in that, and has 44 days of continuous operation. And Mike Prospero, in place of Lou, presented that, as well as John Hansen and our Nuclear Oversight Committee presented activity going on at the nuclear station at this point in time. We did receive our mid-cycle assessment letter for Fort Calhoun, reviewing the most recent quarterly performance indicators inspection, essentially, and that would go from June of 2014, July of 2014 through June of 2015. The NRC determined that overall the Fort Calhoun station operated in a manner that preserved public health and safety and met all cornerstone objectives. And so we'll continue to improve performance at Fort Calhoun, and I had the opportunity to attend several of the all-hands meetings and just reinforce that, not only from the board side, but from the senior management side. And Vice President Hansen accompanied me, as well as Lou Cortopassi. On our transmission and distribution side, I've been talking a little bit about our safety meeting dedication. That dedication this month is for a lineman by the name of Larry McGrew, who died on May 16th, 1951, where he sustained a fall while working on a pole near 59th and Military Avenue in Omaha. Obviously, the utility work was in the blood of the McGrew brothers, who worked, Larry's brother John also worked as a lineman for Nebraska Power Company, but also died in the early 40s, where he was also killed in the line of work. What's really important about this safety dedication is that Mohammed Dogman and his team have put together a variety of new safety tools that we're using as our employees climb poles, where if for whatever reason they become disengaged with their hooks in the poles, there's another set of braces that essentially save them from falling down that pole. And we've executed that, and that's been really to focus on the safety of our employees in the field, because they do have to climb up and restore fuses and transformers and a variety of other things during storms and during normal operation. A severe storm caused widespread outages in the early morning of August 18th. Over 4,200 metro area customers experienced that outage due to high winds, lightning, and flooding rains. Again, the OPPD men and women and our crews and our storm team responded promptly, and all that power was restored by 11 o'clock that evening. We are working on phase one rollout of our smart grid at Omaha Public Power District. The initial implementation is planned for 5 circuits, and we'll test technologies for automated restoration and communication. 3 vendors were selected to demonstrate their products at a lab in Kansas City in August, and this technology is now being tested at the Elkhorn Center here in Omaha. Design is scheduled for completion in December, with construction to start after the first of the year. And we're anxious to see the initial results of that, and we'll be presenting that to the board going forward. In September, OPPD plans, actually we have energized the first of 2 underground circuits to the Stratcom headquarters. Our teams have actually been waiting for them to give us the nod to be able to do that. We've been prepared and ready for several months now to be able to do that. So we continually provide great customer service for that new facility and that new operation at Offutt Air Force Base. And so we'll continue to work with them closely on that change. We filed, from a finance side, we filed our 2015 mid-year report. It's been posted online under the Investors and Finance section of OPPD.com. And this report includes condensed financial statements, key statistical highlights, and then a message, obviously, from me and Edward Easterling, our CFO. Edward and I attended a meeting last month with Neil to begin to talk about our kind of ongoing claim relative to the flood of 2011. I would report to you that we were receptive in providing some opportunity to talk with them further about this claim. And obviously we have a meeting actually scheduled for tomorrow that will continue that discussion with them and look at ways in which we can resolve that claim with Neil. And the meeting was good, and appreciate Edward and his team setting that up. OPPD's credit facility, as was reported Tuesday, has been extended through October 2018. OPPD elected to remain with Bank of America after requesting proposals from 18 other banks. And the only other thing I would add is this, and the board maybe won't pat their backs, but I will, and I think it's really on behalf of the senior team as well. On the board governance policy pieces that we've asked the public to take a look at and give us your feedback, I would say this. This is creating incredible clarity for the senior management team on kind of our direction and our focus and the way that we're going to report out strategic directives to the board going forward, and to do that and monitoring the performance of OPPD. And I'm really excited about that. I think that will provide great transparency, not only for the board, for the OPPD employees, and for the public as well. But I also would say, and the kind of little conversation, every time the board gets together, we get together afterwards, just to let you know. And one of the things that, well, and I think you'll be,
Get together after.
we do, and one of the things that came out of that is I think we believe we've seen an engagement with the board that we just have not seen historically in the past, and it's at a level that I am very pleased with, and I just want to thank the board for their engagement, and I think this process will just continue that increased engagement with the board, and I know the senior management team appreciates that. So with that ends the State of the Utility report.
Thank you, and I appreciate those comments.